In today's video, I'm going to be going through 20 insane tricks to give you some free eliminations and some free round wins in Siege. I'm going to go through everything from settings that you may be overlooking to insane long angles to get you some free kills. So make sure you watch until the end because I guarantee there'll be something on this list that you don't already know. Did you know when you're in the spawn selection screen, you can actually select your spawn by using your mouse to click on the different spawn locations, rather than using the names on the side. Sometimes it might get a little bit confusing with the names if you're not so certain of the names of the spawns yet. If you just go to the map, like on the map screen here, you can just use your mouse to click on certain ones. Let's say I want to spawn tower, I'll just click on the tower there, and then I'm in the game, spawning tower. So that's just a quick tip for you there. Tip number 2 is for attackers that don't want to get jumped out on, and this is how to tell if a window's being prepped. Now there's a setting you need to be enabled for this to actually work. Now if I go up to this window, it does not look like it's prepped. There's no way to tell that it's been prepped for a defender to jump out of. However, if you go to your options, HUD, and then scroll down a little bit until you see general action reminders, sorry. It's in the reminder section, then it's action reminders. This might be set to off if you're not seeing it. What I would suggest is to put it on default. This is because it will show you not just the name, I'll go up and show you here. You'll see it'll say vault with a little person and then a spacebar. If you have it set to anything else, it'll only show one of them 3 things, whereas having it set to default will show you all 3. And if you see this vault thing on a window, this means that it's been prepped and you can vault through it like this. And like the defenders can also vault out of it, so then you need to know. Then you know that you need to be ready for someone to jump out of it. And if I go to a window that's not prepped, you won't see the vault prompt because it's not been prepped to vault through. If I hit it twice, just like the simulated defender prepping it, you will see that vault prompt and you can vault through it. Tip number 3 will help you never get spawn peeked ever again. Now, for this, all you need to do when you're an attacker is as soon as you spawn in, look towards the building where you're going to enter, and then throw your drone up in the air, and then hop straight on the drone. From this, you can check if any windows are being hit, and for the most part, you can cover yourself from getting spawn peeked by checking if all the windows are good, and if any of the doors have got a crack in it, then you know there's someone spawn peeking it. You can call it out to your team, or you can get a good lineup to try and kill them from it by sort of using objects as cover and then peeking around being ready for it. So yeah, that's tip number 3, very quick and easy. Alrighty, so for tip number 4, I'm going to show you a really fun hiding spot to use on coastline on the Hookah bomb site. This will get you some free kills and also some funny clips to show your friends. So if you go onto Hookah, come right up to this sort of sofa thing here, break the cushion in the corner that you'll see there, and also break this one, and then just vault up and just simply lie down here behind this pillow that's there, and then lean to the right as well, just so you're extra sort of like tucked into the corner. Now I'll show you what this looks like. From this perspective, it's very obvious to see, but if someone's walking through the Hookah door, they're not going to check like this. They've got so many angles they need to check. They need to check the rotate, they need to check any holes in the wall, they need to check vase. Like, they're not going to be checking behind the sofa, and because you're behind it, you're going to be pretty hidden behind all this, so they're not going to know that you're there unless they've drawn you out prior to this. So I would suggest playing someone like Vigil if you want to use this spot. Alright, the next tip is for Maestro players, and this is going to be a tip for how to place cameras and make them extra hard to destroy. So for this, all you're going to need is anywhere that has a wall with a hatch underneath it, and then what you're going to want to do is go up to the wall, place your Maestro camera down wherever you want to. This camera here on Villa is a really good example to show what I'm talking about here, but if you go then, after you've placed the camera down, break the hatch, and then what this means is that the camera's still working fine. You can use the camera, you can see anything you want to look at with the cameras, but it also means that because the hatch is broken, the enemies can't really go up to it and melee it, because they'll just fall down the hatch. Like, if I want to go up to it and melee it without falling down the hatch, I just can't. So the only way they can do it is if they fall down the hatch. So the attackers are going to either have to waste time like jumping down, meleeing it, then running all the way around, or they're going to have to waste something like an ash charge on it. And the good thing about this as well is they can't really nade it, especially this one specifically, because if they try and put a nade, it'll just fall down and go through the hatch and not destroy anything. So it's very nice to use. Alright, so my next trick is for how to make bulletproof cameras nearly invincible. Now, all you're going to need to do for this is to reinforce the opposite side of the wall from where you want to put it on. So like this, I want to put it on this way, so I've reinforced the opposite side of the wall. And then all you're going to need to do, you can do this with any operator as well. I'm just doing it with a Rooney for quickness because of the melees. But you're going to need to make a hole in the wooden bit of the reinforcement like this. Preferably not with the sort of red things sticking through, or just because you can't really place them on them, or if you do, it'll just mess it up. And then all you need to do is put it inside that hole, and then what this means is that to actually be able to shoot it, they need to go all the way around, and then they have to kind of try and guess through the wood where to shoot. So it makes it kind of awkward to kill. They can't kill it from like outside the window unless they're good at sort of knowing where the angle is. But it just gives you bulletproof cameras an extra chance of like surviving. And then if you do this one like specifically, you can play off the holes, and when they come close to try and get the angle, you can just swing out and kill them and get some freebies from that as well. Alright, so my next trick is how to basically control 2 drones at once. And this can be very, very strong if you're a solo queue player, because this allows you to basically drone yourself in while also covering your flank at the same time. Now all you need to do for this is to pick up your first drone off spawn, like your prep phase drone. Just pick it up. The reason for this is because when you have a drone down in the prep phase, and then you look through all the different drones, there'll be 5 different drones in the prep phase, assuming none of them get shot. And then every drone after that gets thrown out comes at the very end of the list. So if you imagine in the bottom left where there's just my 1 drone, imagine 5 teammate drones or 4 teammate drones, and then I throw another one down, that goes to the very end. So my first drone could be the very first one of the 5, or like the middle of the 5, and then you have to keep flicking through all the different ones to get to the second drone. If you then pick this drone up, it resets the lineup so that your drone's not in the list anymore. And then if you throw down both your drones at the same time, I'll just rappel into this balcony and then I'll show you. If you throw down both your drones at the same time, like this, your drones are always going to be next to each other in the list. So you just need to flick once between the 2. And then doing this, you allow yourself to set up a flank drone, for example here. I'll just put one down here. It allows you to set up a flank drone. And then all you need to do is to just start droning yourself in, and then just flick back to your other drone to like check on your flank and make sure you're good. Like every couple of seconds you can just check on your flank drone. And this is really, really good for like being able to drone yourself in, because having flanks covered, especially in solo queue, is very, very hard to like trust your randoms to cover flanks. Or if you're covering flanks for yourself, then you're not pushing in anyway. So doing this trick allows you to be able to push in and also cover your flanks at the same time, which makes it very, very, very strong. Just as a little bonus as well, you can use this if you're playing a 5 stack to make sure if you have any pre-placed set drones, everybody else picks up their drones, and then you can have a group of 3 or 2 flank drones as the very first 2, which means that you can just flick through the 2 flank drones that you have set up and not have to worry about flicking through every random drone that's there. This next trick is a little bit niche, but it's for all my shotgun players out there who need to make a lot of rotates in a very little amount of time. There's one thing you need to know about the shotguns in Siege is they have different reload animations depending on how much ammo is in the magazine when you're reloading. So let's say I'm making this rotate, and let's just say for example it takes us 6 shots to rotate, like to make the rotate. If I reload, it's going to do one animation like this, where it starts putting the shells back in. If I reload the gun from empty, I'll just empty out the shotgun for you quickly. So my last, to finish my rotate, my last shot is the last one in the magazine. It does a different animation, which adds an extra little bit of time onto the reload animation. Basically what I'm saying is when you're setting up sights, never ever ever use all bullets in your magazine. Wait until you have 1 left, then reload, because it will save you some time in these setups. If you're having to reload 4 times, that's an extra 5-10 seconds off your prep phase time. Maybe not 10 seconds, but 5 seconds off your prep phase time because of the reload time. So if you're struggling with your setup times, use this trick and it'll help you save some time. Here's a cool Flores trick that you can use on Bank to be able to safely destroy gadgets in CEO from the roof. Now, it's very common for defenders to set up site, they'll have a zombie on this cabinet here and they'll play here. They'll have different gadgets around site that you need to get rid of, and it's very awkward trying to get a drone in through top square or in through stock because they're very heavily contested areas. So all you need to do is go to this window here and shoot it open. If you're looking at it from the roof, it's just the far the right one here. Shoot that window open and then come over to where I'm about to stand now, which is here. Then pull out a Flores drone, jump it up onto the roof, get onto this little ledge thing here, go right at the end, turn around and then just jump into the window. As simple as that. And then you can use your Flores drones to get rid of any gadgets on site. This is very, very, very strong in ranked because people will, like I said before, place things like zombie barriers. I messed up the parkour there, of course, but they'll place things like zombie barriers on site, which are very awkward to get rid of without sort of face checking it and then spamming it with bullets. So doing this allows you to get rid of them for free, and it's very, very strong. So moving on to Villa now, I'm going to show you another Flores parkour trick to be able to destroy gadgets in sight. This one is aimed at the Aviator game site, and as you probably know, it's very common for an army to stack gadgets up here on this map table. So we're going to get rid of that with these with this army parkour. So we're going to get rid of that with this Flores parkour. All you need to do is come up to this flat bit of the roof here, get on your drone. This one's very, very simple. All you need to do is go a little bit to the left, and just kind of jump on the ledge, and then you can kind of like shimmy your way into the window. It's very, very easy. And then get your Flores drone up onto the table there to get any gadgets off it, or just any gadgets in general that might be on site. So again, get on the window ledge, come back a little bit onto this ledge, and then jump in. Very, very simple. And then you've got free reign of using your Flores drone on site to get rid of any gadgets. Alright, so for the next trick we're going to be on border, and I'm going to show you a fun Nomad trick you can use to get some freebies when you're rushing site and when you're trying to push into site of archives. So all you need to do is open this window on archive. Once you've opened the window, you need to get a drone on top of this light here. Now, you can find a line up to do it while prone like this. You can just follow the sort of like drone line placement thing and get it on top of the light like that. Then just drive it along the top of the light here. Move it to the left a little bit so that a little bit's going to be hanging off like this. As you can see there, a little bit's hanging off. And then all you need to do is shoot a Nomad charge off the drone like this. And you'll see it fall down and like land kind of around the hatch area here. And this will like attack anybody that's sitting behind this archives desk. So if you want to do this and then you can rush straight in after it, like what I do is I shoot the Nomad charge, then I run in, and then just as I'm about to peek them, they get Nomaded away, and I can swing around and get a freebie on them for absolutely no risk at all to my health, other than getting shot through like this door if I swing past the angle. So hopefully you've killed this guy and then you've swung around and killed like to try and fight these guys. But that's all for this tip. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, here's a really fun cage claw to use to stop the IT wall on Nighthaven Labs. Instead of just putting it on the wall like a lot of people do, or using one on each side like a lot of people do, like they'll put one here and one here. Instead of doing all that, all you need to do is come to the vending room down below, open up this window here, and then from this window you can throw your cage charge sort of in the middle of this wall up here. I used to use these like to sort of line up and then just throw it right up there, like above the first one of them. And then go back up to site and we'll be able to see that both the walls are now electrocuted. As you can see, both these walls are electrocuted, and there's no way at all anybody like using a Twitch drone in here to get the cage off, using vertical to get the cage off. The only way that they can get this is if you leave Thatcher unbanned and they use a Thatcher, or if they have an IQ and someone with impact EMPs to be able to find it and then destroy it that way. Or again, if they know that it exists. But for the most part, you'll find that this cage survives, and it allows you to use your other cage somewhere else rather than having to use two cages to stop the wall. Like a lot of people, like I said before, will put one there and put one there. Instead of doing all that, you can keep both your cages, like keep one of your cages alive in your pocket and put it somewhere else, and then use this one for the wall. Alrighty, so for the next few tips we're going to be on cafe, and I'm going to show you some really fun and cool angles that you can use in rank. So for this first one, we're going to want to come to a freezer, reinforce the right wall like you would normally do, but on this left wall, make some head holes like this. And these head holes are actually going to be able to make you see the dining window here. As you can see, this is the dining window that a lot of attackers like to enter from. I'll go around and show you what they will see from their perspective. But doing this angle will allow you to gain a very, very easy freebie when they jump through this window here. If I'm an attacker coming through, I'll break open the window, I'll start picking around different angles, getting ready to jump in. This is the angle they're going to see. This is how small your angle is to them. Which makes it a very, very, very hard like a fight for them to win. And if you pair this up with like a duo queue teammate playing in VIP here, you can use this to sort of create a crossfire. If they sit safely here, they can protect you from the garage here, like the bottom right, and you can sit here and protect them from the dining window there, like that, and get some easy freebies for them. Also as well, if they're like pushing in on your teammate, you can swing around and help your teammate here. It creates a really, really easy winnable like crossfire, and will get you some free wins. For this next tip, if you don't want to do that, you can reinforce both the freezer walls, and then all you need to do for this next tip is to open up the top of the white wall here, and also open up the hatch like this. Then go and play on top of the hatch. Now from on top of the hatch, what you can do is you can either play up here, use this angle to kill like bottom white stairs, or instead you can actually jump on top of this sort of cabinet here and gain some angles over the freezer wall here. I'll open up a little bit more. You can gain some angles onto the VIP door here, which is that VIP door to dining that I ran through before. You can also sort of prone and watch a bakery from a really off angle. This is a really, really strong angle to use. You can also again see people coming up white. What's really cool about this is from the attacker's perspective, they'll see the top of the wall open, but a lot of them will assume that that is for impact tricks, which is very, very commonly done. So they'll assume the wall's open because of an impact trick, not because you're sat here like a rat on top of a shelving cabinet. This next tip again is another long angle from freezer, but this one's going to watch towards bakery. Now we're going to assume that the bakery wall has been opened by some kind of breacher. or you can open it yourself if you want to be risky like that. But if we come all the way deep in the freezer and crouch behind this sort of freezer thing here, we get a really small pixel here onto bakery. As you can see, I'll shoot some shots through. That's a really tight pixel all the way to the back of bakery in the middle of the room there. That's the bullet shots I've just shot there. So it's a really tight angle, and if somebody walks past that angle, you're going to get a freebie headshot on them if you've got a good reaction time. So try that out in your games and see if you get some freebies with it. This next trick is a really low risk spawn peek on cafe. All you need for this is a shotgun and someone with an ACOG. I would prefer to use Doc personally, just because he has all of them and more. So what you need to do is go to this cigar shop, open up the hatch, and then prone and open up some more holes along the wall here. Then once you're here, open up this window in front of you, the pillar window. And from this position here, you can actually lie down and see all the way deep into spawn. This is the river dock spawn that you're going to look into. Just get rid of that bit there out of the way. So you can see all the way deep into the river dock spawn, and it gives you a really sort of like insane angle compared to what they see. Like you can see their whole body when they're walking past. If they come around this way, and you can see their whole body, and what they can see is kind of this. Like that's all they get to look at is a little tiny gap. That like light bit there is where they can see. That's where they see you. So it makes it a very easy winnable fight for you if somebody crosses your path. Now I will say it's very rare that I've had someone cross this path. Like I think I've maybe successfully done it in a game once, and that was like a standard game or something like that. So I wouldn't really bet your house on it getting kills every round, but the round that it does work is very satisfying. So make sure you want to, if you want to try this out in games, I would definitely recommend it. My next trick is for Outback. Now if you're unlucky enough to get this in rank, instead of making it your 30th reason, use this insane long angle to get you some free kills. Come to this garage window here and break it open, and then you can either rappel upside down or just rappel normally, but then what you want to do is shoot through this wooden wall here. Generally when the defenders are defending party, they'll leave this wall soft to watch the stairs, like the garage stairs. So if you open up this wall, you can see a really long angle deep into bull, which is a very common rotation point for the defenders. So you'll see people crossing this nearly every 10 seconds or something silly. You'll get fights every time you play this angle on this, like on this site, on like the party site. Even on the other site as well, you might catch a Roma doing this, but I would really recommend it for the party site. This gets me nearly a free kill every time, well, mostly every time I play it. So it's very strong, and I would definitely recommend using it. Now for the final trick of this video, I'm going to show you a really fun execute strat to use with Capitao on cache and CCTV bomb site on Clubhouse. Now for this, all you need to do is come into stock, make sure you get in here safely. This works best with a duo or with a stack who want to push from the construction side, and then push in when you use these smokes that I'm going to show you. So the first smoke you're going to put will be in this corner here, and this will block off the rotate on site. As you know, defenders usually put a rotate here. And then you're also going to use your second smoke to block off this door here. So from below, what this looks like is you'll go to where these sort of jackets are, just put a smoke in the floor like that, then put another one in this corner. And as you'll see, both of these walls of doors and rotates being smoked off, and your teammates can push in safely from the door, fight any guy on site, and then get the plant down and cover for like a retake. If you're a solo queue player, as soon as you throw them smokes, I would recommend coming up here, going through this single wall that you open before you do the smokes, and then running in through here. But if you want to get the most value out of it, and like hope that, and not risk that people walk through the smokes when you do them, get your teammates to push in off these smokes, and you will be in for some really easy round wins. So that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.